Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Aaron.
And you're listening to Thought Fuzz, a brand new podcast coming to you once a week on Thursdays starting January 10th, 2019.
Join us each week as we explore the big ideas shaping your world and driving your headlines.
Is it ethical to believe in conspiracy theories? Do we really need elites? What makes an ideal leader?
Mike and I tackle these questions and more as we challenge each other's assumptions and dive deeper into the important issues of the day.
Catch the latest episodes each week on SoundCloud and iTunes, and don't forget to join us in continuing the conversation online by reaching out to us on Twitter and Instagram. And now, Aaron, how about we give our listeners a little background on us and why we decided to do the show?
Sure, Mike. Well, a couple of years ago, which was 2016, it was a pretty big time for news, both global and domestic. Most notably, for us Canadians, we watched the American presidential election of 2016 take place. And this event evoked much emotion and impassioned debate north of the American border, and indeed everywhere else. At that time, as is currently the case, I was blessed to still be around my best friends from our days in university, and we engaged in many debates. Around this time, I was listening to many current events podcasts and news shows, and I thought that some of the observations my friends were making were quite poignant. And well, don't I wish I had those on record so that I could revisit them at a later time. And more than that, I simply enjoyed participating. A good conversation in the morning over breakfast and coffee is one of the things I enjoy most in the world, and it was only natural that I looked for an excuse to do that more often. I presented the idea of doing a podcast to Mike about a year ago, and he immediately took me up on that idea, and thus Thought Fuzz was born. We've spent that time learning the basics of podcasting, video editing, audio setup, etc., branding, social media. Apparently there was a lot involved with just starting a podcast. The whole project has been joyful for us, if at times difficult, and we are now ready to present Thought Fuzz to you, our listeners. The broad concept of our show is to have a discussion about a general idea or topic which was brought up in some way by a current political event. So, for example, when Alex Jones made the news last year with his connections to the Trump campaign, we recorded our inaugural episode, Is It Right to Believe in Conspiracy Theories?, in which we talked generally about conspiracy theories, methods of belief, intellectual ethics, and so forth. When Russia threatened to shoot at American ships if they fired into Syria, we did an episode about what is an act of war. And when North Korea was agitating for its right to nuclearize, we did an episode called North Korea, What Are the Rights of a Nation? It is our hope that though our weekly topics are motivated by current events, our discussion is not limited to those events themselves, and indeed we have made some effort to avoid that. We hope that the broad topics we address serve as invitations to discussion for our listeners. Many of them are so complex and momentous that they cannot possibly receive an adequate treatment in the short time we have, much less by us. We very much look forward to our listeners' feedback, and we were excited to continue our discussions with you on social media as the show progresses. And indeed, we can't wait to hear our listeners' nuanced takes on our topics.
The series we are embarking on has been gestating for over a year. The episodes you'll be hearing are the result of a lot of time spent recording, tinkering, and revising until we could deliver a product that we truly loved. I couldn't be happier with what we've achieved. It's been a long, strange trip getting to this point, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I hope you enjoy listening to this new series as much as we have enjoyed recording it. I expect the Thought Fuzz will continue to grow and evolve as we put out more content and get feedback from our listeners.
Mike and I couldn't be more excited for the year of content that we have planned. But we couldn't do this without the support and love of our friends and family. To all those who had to endure us while we toiled away over the same clips of audio again and again, and those who had to endure our brainstorming sessions that began in the mornings and continued late into the night, and to all those people who believed in us and encouraged us along our way, we say thank you.
Join us next Thursday for our inaugural episode as we discuss whether or not it's ethical to believe in conspiracy theories. And thanks again for joining us on our minicast. We'll see you next Thursday. Until then, keep it fuzzy.